Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel ttc.babydust. Hi. So it's been about 2 months or nearly 2 months since I did my last video. Sorry I haven't been on and keeping you guys up to date. Things have just been a little bit hectic over the last 2 months, as we all would know. Literally have changed from going into the office every day to now working from home full-time 5 days a week, which has been great for my stress levels. I'm loving it. So I've had a lot of adjustments to do over the past 2 months to be able to make it work from home. That has been really busy, really good, but really busy. So I've been wanting to come on and just talk to you guys and do a couple of more vlogs, but yeah, it's just been hectic the last 2 months, so I'm sorry and I apologize for that, but I'm going to get back into it now. So I will talk about where I left off. If you'd watched my last video, you would know that we had our first fertility specialist appointment. We did a lot of tests with our fertility specialist. There was one of the results that I went through with everyone called natural killer cells. I did mention that my second video that was supposed to come out a few days after that was going to be on the next test results that we did and the results of that test. So that's what I'll be talking a little bit about today. I'm still trying to get my head around what it all means. Some of the wording's really hard to pronounce. Some of it I don't quite understand. So I'll do my best. I will read though the letters that my fertility specialist has sent us. It's easy to understand exactly what is involved and what we're talking about. Otherwise, I don't really know how to explain it to you, and I think this explains it very easy. I'll also explain the treatments and what we'll be doing. So if I'm looking at either direction, it means I'm looking at my screen. So that's, and I'm reading off that. So first of all, I just want to say this test that we did, it's called the DQ alpha gene test. So I believe in Australia, there's only 2 fertility specialists that test for it and treat it. I believe that from what I've read that there's a lot of fertility specialists that probably don't yet know a lot about it, so they're not really looking into it. This is one of the reasons why we chose our fertility specialist, because we wanted to be tested for this and see if this was an issue for us. I'm not too sure worldwide what this test is like, or if it's able to be done or anything like that, so I'm not too sure about all of that. I just know what it's like in Australia for this test. Okay, so Reno and I got tested for the DQ alpha gene in Feb along with all the other tests. This has come back, so you can either be a partial match or you can be a complete match. So unfortunately, Reno and I's test results came back that are not great. We were both a complete match. So it tells you exactly what genes we are a complete match to, but I don't quite understand the numbers yet. So we are a complete match for 102, 102, and 103. So there is this book that I really want to read that talks about the genes and the numbers and all of that. So once I get that book and I read more into it, I will be able to explain more on what exactly those genes are. So from my understanding, it's Reno and mine's genetic makeup tissue is very, very similar. So you can be a complete match or you could be a partial match. As I said, unfortunately, we are a partial match. So that makes it a little bit more harder for us to potentially conceive our own child. Hopefully that we will be able to, but we'll just see what happens. So I'll talk to you about what it actually is and the treatments that that my fertility specialist will treat. So I'm just going to read off the letter that he sent to me. So it says, "Dear Vanessa, immunological causes may be preventing you from achieving or keeping a pregnancy. Autoimmunity results in the formation of antibodies which attack the woman's own body cells. Alloimmunity is a less common type which is much more difficult to treat. It results in an aggressive reaction from the uterus to the developing embryo. This is because the embryo shares genetic information too similar to the mother's own genetic makeup. The cells of your body have proteins on the surface to determine if an intruder is a friend or a foe, such as a virus. These proteins are called human leukocyte antigens, HLA. The DQ-alpha antigens are a particular importance as it is believed they bind to the HLA gene molecules to help turn off the immune response against the embryo. This keeps the natural killer cells under control. Each person has 2 alpha genes. One comes from their mother and one comes from their father. If the mother and father have matching genes, then when the egg and sperm meet to form, the embryo will have similar DQs. The woman's aggressive immune system will think it is itself and not self or strange sort of self. Okay. The natural killer cells will attack the embryo and will release large amounts of cytokines, which will damage the cell's troploblast, which is necessary for implementation. Similar to a plant. So similar to a plant if it has no root system in the soil. Couples at risk will be given a blood test to determine if the genes are compatible. Okay, so this just talks about what our fertility specialist will do. So so that explains what it is. I hope that makes sense. So pretty much what he's saying as well in this other letter is because of the sharing, we are at increased risk of unexplained fertility, recurrent implementation failing, recurrent pregnancy loss. So my body's pretty much treating my embryo as a foreign object or a cancer. So it's actually attacking it. It's not allowing it. So I guess that's sort of how the natural killer cells is a part of the DQ alpha match. So that sort of makes sense how both of that is linked, as my uterus is a hostile environment. So the treatment that's recommended is called LMIT or LIT, lymphocyte membrane immunotherapy. So that's a treatment he suggested for us to do. Also, a couple of other treatments to suppress my immune system and help with the natural killer cells. Now, I asked about how that affects us in this time. It doesn't. I don't think, it will suppress my immune system that much where I'll be getting sick. So I'm not too worried about that. So it looks like that will be the next stages for us. We will be going down this path. When we do it, we're not too sure yet. How we will do it, we're not too sure yet. I will go through with you guys once we talk to our fertility specialist, exactly what the treatment involves. I just want to get my head around that first. I kind of know already, but I kind of want to speak to him and get his intake on it. It's a little bit scary, the procedure, so I just want to speak to him first. And so that will be what I'll be talking about next, what our plans with our fertility specialist will be, what he recommends us doing. We have an appointment coming up with him, which will be our second fertility specialist appointment. So we will be going through that with him. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is our second test result, which is a bit of a downer. So that's something that Rena and I have really got to think about, how that affects us in the future of potentially conceiving our own child. We're not too sure what's going to happen, so we'll just have to wait and see. So that's all I've got to talk to you today about the DQ alpha gene match. There is another test that we also had done, which is the MTHFR gene. I have the mutation, which is A1298C, which I believe my body doesn't process folic acid. So I need to have folate or folinic acid or methylfolate. I've already been taking those forms of folate anyway, because I do believe it is better for your body than folic acid. Is that the right one? I get so confused on them. So I did change my brand a couple of months ago, so I'm glad I did before I saw these test results. So I'm glad I did. I changed the brand. I'm using a more let's say practitioner brand, and yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. Stay tuned in the next couple of days. I will be posting my second video after we've had our fertility specialist appointment. So yeah, I hope this is really informative. Yeah, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Thanks for watching again, and thanks for joining me. Thanks guys, bye.